All names and some details have been changed to protect the innocent. Last night, Oscar and I were talking about the incident I had with a Karen at the local store last year, and how his former co-worker, Lila, saved me before the situation got worse. He had his own story to share, and has granted me permission to post it here. Cast: Oscar, manager. Joseph, helpful guest stocking shelves. Penny, Joseph's mom. George, Jerker's customer. Back before he joined the company we both now work for, Oscar was doing his rounds around the department store he worked at, talking to customers and employees, and making sure everything was running smoothly. It was a slower than usual Monday, so Oscar was able to enjoy his stroll. He came upon a teenage guest reorganizing the stuffed animals and making everything look neat, under the supervision of his mom. Oscar noticed the guest was wearing noise-cancelling headphones. Oscar, thank you so much for making everything look neat. You've got an eye for detail. Penny, a bit embarrassed, he likes to organize and clean up as it helps calm him when he gets overstimulated. I can get him to stop if it's being a problem. Oscar, nodding, my son does the same thing, and as long as it helps him then you're more than welcome to. To Joseph, you're doing a great job. He left. Oscar decided to get some paperwork done when they heard a loud clattering and a cry. Oscar ran back to see this huge man who looked like he had eaten one Thanksgiving dinner too many, and his button-up shirt was about ready to bust open standing over Joseph. Joseph had his hands over his ears, now sans headphones, and looking like a proverbial deer in the headlights. The guest was pointing at him. George, now that you aren't listening to your music, are you going to help me? Penny walked up to him. Penny, sir, my son is not an employee and has autism. George looks at Penny with narrowed eyes. Don't lie. He was wearing headphones. Realizing the situation needed to be de-escalated, Oscar walked up, customer service smile on his face, although he was seething inside. Oscar, may I help you, sir? George notices Oscar. Thank God you're here. You really need to tell your employees here, points at Joseph and Penny, to not wear headphones on the job and to stop covering for each other. I can't believe that you hire. Insert 7-letter insult that begins with an R, ends with a S, and is considered the best way to get your butt kicked at least 6 ways to Sunday in all 50 states. Now the important thing to know about Oscar is this: while he's a kind man who will give you the last dollar in his pocket if you needed it, he really doesn't take kindly to someone being treated badly, especially if it's a person with disabilities, as his younger son has autism. Oscar looks the customer down with a dad glare. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to watch your language and your actions. I can verify that these are a pair of guests and that he was rearranging the shelves because he wanted to. And even if they did work here, that doesn't give you the right to harass them. Just then, a security guard walked over, apparently attracted by the commotion. George went from tomato red to bedsheet white. Oscar turned back to Penny. Oscar, if you want to press charges, we can help you with that. Penny, crying at this point. No, I think it'd be best if we just left. Oscar, okay, if you think that is best. George, now realizing that this would be the best time to left, walked away. Oscar picked up the headphones and returned it to Joseph. Penny hugged Joseph. Penny, thank you, sir. Oscar, you're welcome. I apologize that you had to endure that. Is there anything I can do to make the situation better? Penny, no, but we greatly appreciate it. Oscar, I'll let the staff know to watch out for that man, and if there's any problems, don't hesitate to contact us. George never stepped into the store again. From then on, Joseph and Penny would come into the department store to say hello and organize the shelves every Monday, with Oscar occasionally bringing out some extra toys for Joseph to put away if he wanted. My boss is a nice guy, but sometimes get a bit aggravated, and I'll be honest, doesn't run things the way I would run things. To the story, a couple of people have left the job due to not being paid for overtime and being overworked anyway. So the people left, including me, have been doing 6 or 7 days a week to keep the place running. It's a small business and money is money. About 2 weeks of this, and we ask the boss man, when are new people being hired? Oh, you guys seem to be getting on fine as you are. And that was the end of that convo. Being a bit run down, and young and fed up of no social life, I booked off my nice 4-day weekend and bought tickets for a band I liked. Holiday was accepted. Nice. Friday comes and I wake up nice and late. Get a couple of tinnies in with the mates on the way up the Big Smoke and proceed to get hammered to punk music and thoroughly enjoying my night of sticking it to the man. In the smokers area I get a phone call from Bossman. Hi Big G. We have a kind of casual relationship. That wasn't just me being a moron. Hey Angry Girl, any chance you can work tonight in the weekend? We are understaffed and name would have to work 16 hours. Sorry Bossman, I'm in London and also pretty sloshed. Right, so you going to make name not go home to his kids cause you wanna have fun then? Dutch courage kicked in. Look, we all are overworked and you don't want new people. We all told you this would happen. So no /hic/ I'm not coming in. Well, don't bother turning up tomorrow then. That's the plan, but he hung up. Went back to work on Tuesday and he acted like nothing happened. Turns out Bossman did the shift himself because name just got in his car after hearing the convo over the phone. Started the job search again cause still no new being hired because, of course, we seem to be managing fine. This has basically been just a bit of a rant. Boss is a nice guy, but his corner cutting to make money is just basically treating his staff like poo. Backstory: I'm a high school senior at a magnet technical school, meaning it's filled with smart kids who don't want to try. I got a position as an intern at the school's IT department for over the summer, and for the last hour and a half of each school day, that counted as technical credits. Needed 6 of them to graduate. Gotta love work-based learning. Also, 3 years ago, almost all of our administrators got fired for embezzlement. This will be important. This happened on Thursday, and I thought this would fit here. Story time. I was doing my job installing new printer cartridges in color printers in classrooms in the 400s hall, commonly known as the science hallway, and was having a chat with my chemistry teacher from last year who happened to have a planning period and wanted to know about the events I was looking into for this year's Science Olympiad. My team's won county for the last 4 years running. Very proud. It's important to note that I'm not dressed like teachers are supposed to be. The teacher dress code meant no sweats, no tank tops, no jeans except on Fridays. Basically just dress generally put together. My boss in the IT office was wear clothes and shoes that weren't open-toed. The clothes part could probably have been negotiated. Love my boss. This particular Thursday I was wearing joggers and a flannel over a tank top. The only thing I had going for me in the category of looking like a teacher was my ID badge, a student ID in the school, issued plastic sleeve on a retractable lanyard, the same that are issued to teachers, that I only got because the box of them lives in one of the full-time IT guys' desk drawer and he gave all 4 interns them when we first started in June, and my badge, while it had an NFC in it to let me in and out of the school. The IT office, server rooms, ECT is obviously different from teacher IDs, even on a first glance. I also had a radio clipped onto my pants waistband. Note, the only people who have radio are admins, department heads, and maintenance people, not teachers. While I was talking to my old chemical teacher, an older looking lady walked past us. She didn't say anything at the time, but clearly was giving us the side eye. I didn't think much of her, since she was obviously a sub. My school has only a little over 1,000 students, so not that big, and while I don't know all the substitutes, you tend to catch on to the regulars, and she didn't say anything when she walked past. I didn't think anything of it, finished my conversation, and start to head back to the office. I get a call over the radio from another intern, asking me to pick up a spare monitor from one of the storage rooms, casually known as IDFC. Not my idea, because my direct boss had stabbed another monitor with a knife. Long story. Probably will post the story to Ratalis from tech support one of these days, but I literally just made a Reddit account. But the door to IDFC was clearly labeled authorized personnel only and needed a valid key card, not physical keys, in order to get in. My ID has clearance for this door. Regular teachers' ID cards won't let you in. I'm about to let myself in, texting the other intern to get her to send me a picture of the stabbed monitor so I know what type I need to pick up. Then suddenly, here comes the substitute teacher around the corner, spotting my with my phone in one hand and ID in the other. She comes storming over to me. From here on out me will be me, as will be annoying substitute. CB will be my chill boss. Far will be my favorite administrator, and if will be my intern friend. As WH app do you think you are doing? Me what? As that Dorsey early says, that teachers are NT allowed. Why would you think that you could geo into a off limits room when you look like that? Me, visibly confused look. I don't know what your problem is. I'm just doing my job. Is there something I can help you with? As you can start by not dressing like a gang member. What sort of influence are you being to impressionable children? You should be fired. Me, I don't understand. I'm just trying to work. Nothing I'm wearing is against dress code. I'm assuming she might have seen a slip of gasp. Shouder if my flannel had slipped a little. As I will report you to the principal. What do you think you are doing? Wearing sweatpants? What sort of teacher are you? Me, finally understanding. Oh, wait, I'm not a teacher. I'm an intern. We don't have a dress code other than the school dress code. As don't lie to me, you're just trying to not get fired. Give me that walkie-talkie, I need to call the principal. Me, nope, I don't need this. Please let me do my job. Teachers aren't allowed to use the radio unless it's an emergency. As give me that. As grabs the radio out of my hand and hits the call button. The radio is pre-tuned to channel 3, the IT channel. Admins are on channel 11. As screeching into my radio, I need the principal outside room 420th. There's a teacher trying to break into a room. Over the radio, my boss responds, confused. CB what? AB, what's going on? I managed to wrestle back the radio and call for my boss. Me, CB, can you come down to IDFC? I need a hand. Really soon please. At this point, Az throws my radio across the hallway, and, because the intern radios are always the crappiest ones available, the battery pops out, so I have no way of knowing if help is coming, and Az is still screaming in my face. Unfortunately I'm 3 feet down from the door that only I will be able to get into, and Az is still forcing me farther away, screeching at me. It seems hopeless, until here comes Far turning the corner, attracted by the yelling. A note about Far. After an embezzlement scandal mid-year that led to only like 2 admins still standing, a science teacher that just so happened to have another degree that qualified him for the admin job. This man was a fabulous teacher, and while I never had him, if did, and I knew him well by association with, if even before I got the job. Working during the summer, he was one of the admins that was there pretty consistently, and since he's always been pretty friendly to me. So Far turns the corner, like an avenging angel, and sees me, obviously trying to do my job, and this is losing her mind in front of me. He immediately comes over, and tries to see what is wrong, and beseeches an actual employee. He goes to the IS first. Far, what is going on here? As this teacher is acting inappropriately in front of impressionable students. Trying to break into and steal things from the off-limits rooms. Far, AB, what are you trying to do? Me, oh thank God Mr. Far, I'm just trying to get a monitor for CB out of IDFC. Far, IDFC, did, literal highest level IT guy in the district, who works in the same office as CB, if and me, come up with that. Never mind. As, aren't you supposed to be in a class right now? Op is just doing her job. She's an intern her. It's not like she is skipping class or anything. As suddenly gets calm and collected to try to explain to Far that I was a disgrace of a teacher, which I'm not, and I was a bad influence, debatable, and I should be fired. I would like to go home all the time, and was totally down for this. CB, and if only just now round the corner onto the scene, just in time to watch me get down on my hands and knees to put the radio back together while Az tries to defend herself to Far. If makes sure I'm okay and then gets the monitor to actually finish the ticket we were working on. CB helps me fix my radio and starts defending me to the Az. I was a little shaken up and don't remember that much about the following conversation, but the gist of it was Az was upset that I was exempt from the dress code rules for teachers and employees, and that I had access to rooms that she didn't have. But then a security guard comes around the corner. Apparently Az had left her class. Oh freshman, to go to the bathroom, and when a student had an emergency dismissal and the classroom was called, they realized she had left unattended students not allowed. The security guard had gone down to the classroom to investigate, found it teacherless, and had checked the security cameras. The result is ended up getting fired. The FAR apologized to me on her behalf to me. My CB gave me some Jolly Ranchers and let me chill for the rest of the workday. BCI was pretty shaken up and then let me stab the broken monitor. I haven't seen that sub since, and I'm glad. Thank you for watching. Slap that like button and comment your opinion on these stories below. I'm waiting. Write that comment. Seriously. Have you written it yet? If you don't comment, you make a bunny cry somewhere. You're not that kind of person, I know. Anyways, peace out, and catch you tomorrow.